Let's get to the NFL. Andy Reid is the top NFL head coach heading into this season, according to CBS Sports, who used past performances and future outlook as a criteria. Remember that, y'all. They say Reid's connection with Patrick Mahomes makes him a perennial candidate to win the Super Bowl again, except last year. Bill Belichick came in second based on his team's drop-off, post Tom Brady. Take a look at the top 10. 7 of the head coaches have won Super Bowls. And Sean McDermott, my Buffalo Bills, and Matt LaFleur are the only ones who have not been to the big game. So, Acho, what's your biggest issue with the NFL head coaching rank?
Man, where's Scottie Pippen at when I need him to make this about race?
Need some, you need some bourbon?
No, my biggest issue is Mike Tomlin. How he gonna sit at 10? Somebody got to make that make sense. Mike Tomlin is sitting behind coaches who haven't won Super Bowls, coaches who haven't been to Super Bowls, coaches who have barely made playoff appearances. I'm talking about Matt LaFleur. I'm talking about Sean McDermott, and even Sean McVay, who is yet to win a Super Bowl. I just don't get how you can put Mike Tomlin, who has the record for most consecutive seasons to start your career without a losing season, that being 14. I don't get how he don't get respect. And Mike Tomlin truly isn't just one of the greatest coaches present day. He's one of the greatest coaches in NFL history. As far as winning percentage goes, the only coach that is in the top 10 that is not in the Hall of Fame where Mike Tomlin lies is Bill Belichick. Well, Mike Tomlin bound to lie is Bill Belichick as far as winning percentage rankings. Mike Tomlin, really the whole list is completely undermined when I look at Mike Tomlin where he ranks. Because how I look at it, Andy Reid, Bill Belichick, they are top 2, 1 and 2. Then you have Mike Tomlin, for me, is at 3.
Yes.
Then you have the likes of John Harbaugh, the likes of Pete Carroll, the likes of Sean Payton, and then all them other cats that haven't won Super Bowls. Bruce Arians at number 7, and the rest of them cats that haven't won Super Bowls. So that's my biggest point of contention, where Mike Tomlin ranks.
Yeah, my biggest issue with the coaching rankings is simple. The way they rank them. It's just the order. What the hell is this order? Let me just give it to you simple. Bill Belichick, number 1. Andy Reid, you're number 2. Mike Tomlin, you're number 3. Pete Carroll, you're number 4. John Harbaugh, you're number 5. Sean Payton, number 6. Sean McVay, 7. Bruce Arians, you're 8. Yep, I said it. 9, McDermott, 10, LaFleur. But this wasn't a list about coaching. This was a list about what kind of quarterback you got going forward. And they penalized Mike Tomlin because they were like, you got Big Ben. Oh, brother, we're going to drop you almost out the top 10 for having Big Ben. But why they put Matt LaFleur up in there? He got Jordan Love. He ain't got Aaron Rodgers right now. You better stop. This is a funny list. They disturb me. They perturb me. They irritate me. They remind me of the barbershop. 4 hours, got to make an appointment. $100 later, I'm listening to this dude talk about his ex-girlfriend. I hate all of that. I'm sorry. And this is just one of those lists that's keeping me in the barbershop too damn long. That's why I got the baldy with the Bic at the crib. I'm looking at this situation. Andy Reid is not the best. Just a few months ago before, let me not go there. A year. Let me give him some grace. A year. They were talking about Hawaiian shirts, the most likable guy. Win one for Andy. Win one for Andy is not the best coach in the NFL. The best coach in the NFL is wearing that hood. Is wearing that hoodie. Is just sitting there like, y'all could exaggerate my demise and downfall if you won't. Pray for my downfall, but it's Bill Belichick. So as soon as I saw it, number 1, it wasn't Bill Belichick, I knew where this list was taking me, back to the barbershop where I don't want to go. Got to bring in Fox NFL analyst Bucky Brooks. So, Bucky, what's your biggest issue with the NFL head coaching rankings?
Hey, following Acho, I think Mike Tomlin being down at the bottom of the list to me is crazy. The fact that he's barely a top 10 coach when he is an all-timer. He is a Hall of Famer right in front of our eyes. You have to talk about him in the same breath that you talk about George Halas, Don Shula, Bill Belichick, some of the greats. There have only been 6 coaches that have won 200 games. He already has 145 wins in this league. No losing season. He's been to 1 Super Bowl and won it, been to another and lost it. Some of these other guys on the list don't deserve to be in front of Mike Tomlin. My other contention will be this. Kyle Shanahan is right behind Mike Tomlin. Yet I see some of his disciples are listed ahead of him. Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur. Do we really believe that if we put Kyle Shanahan in Green Bay, that Kyle Shanahan wouldn't exceed the number of wins that Matt LaFleur had based on his offensive ingenuity? What about Sean McVay? The same Sean McVay who hasn't won a Super Bowl, who is disgruntled with his quarterback, moved on from his quarterback, and all of these guys are running Kyle Shanahan's system or Mike Shanahan's system, his dad. And so I believe that even with record, because I believe we need to be able to look beyond what the record says when it comes to coaching greatness. Kyle Shanahan is a great. He is the stuff that he has done from an offensive standpoint. One day will make him a legend. I believe he deserves more flowers than some of the other guys that are on the list.
The other thing, Bucky, because I agree with every iota of what you just said, if you are ranking Bill Belichick number 2, then you're clearly weighing what he has done previously to keep him at number 2, because you're not looking at Cam Newton and ranking Cam Newton above Lamar Jackson or ranking him above Josh Allen. No slight. I'm actually just being serious now. So based upon the logic of looking at what a coach has done, if Bill Belichick is 2, then that instantly brings Tomlin up. Because if you're telling me, well, Tomlin is ranked low because of Big Ben, then in the same sentence, you would have to rank Bill Belichick low because of Cam. But even more than that is really, Bucky, what you said of what makes Matt LaFleur greater than Mike Tomlin?
I got you.
Matt LaFleur has gone to 2 championship games, lost both of the championship games, and is playing with the greatest quarterback that's currently playing right now in Aaron Rodgers because he just won the MVP. If you got Aaron Rodgers on your team, I would hope you could make it to the playoffs and win a playoff game or 2. So that is my biggest gripe. And also, Sean McDermott, if we being real, Sean McDermott shouldn't be ahead of Sean McVay. Sean McDermott shouldn't be ahead of Pete Carroll. Sean McDermott absolutely shouldn't be ahead of Bruce Arians. So Sean McDermott too high, Mike Tomlin too low. Those are some of the biggest issues.
Yeah, look, I think the thing about Sean McDermott, I think Sean McDermott should be in the top 10. I think he's done a great job in Buffalo. My condition would be Mike Tomlin being up there. I think what's interesting is how we view this just from an offensive standpoint. Yeah, there are offensive coaches in the league, but I think some of this is reputation preceding the result. We talked about Sean McVay being boy wizard, boy wonder because of his offensive genius. We've talked about Matt LaFleur and the stuff that he's done in Green Bay, but part of that is driven by the quarterback. I just would like to think that if we're going to make these lists, let's make sure we put some meat behind it. Let's make sure that we see a long track record of consistency and success. I just don't know if some of these guys that are listed in the top 10 are really those dudes when it comes down to it.
Oh, man. Well, I gotta push back a little bit, Bucky, because you can't ask a list to rank and then say, oh, but make sure it respects longevity if a coach has only been coaching for a couple years. Matt LaFleur, I agree. He shouldn't be that damn high. However, he does have the highest win percentage of everyone. Fewest games, obviously, but highest win percentage. So what do you do with him? You just keep him off the list because he's only been there a couple years, or you say, kind of been some good couple years so far. Higher than Bill Belichick. So that's where I think the rub is. Look, I'm going to talk about this list like I talk about with student athletes. I go to high schools and speak to the student athletes. I'm like, look, y'all want to go to the proper college. All right, here's a formula. You don't have to subscribe to it, but this is what you should do. I want you to look at their athletic program and find out what they're ranked in the AP poll or BCS of your sport. All right? Then I want you to look at their U.S. News and World Report academic ranking, okay? Now add those 2 numbers up. Now do that for every single college. And then when you're done with that, take the score of the lowest one, and that's the school you should go to. Now, most of the kids don't like what that says. They're like, I don't want to go to that school. I was like, well, that's the best situation for you. Now, let me do that same kind of math and logic on this situation. Bill Belichick is number 2.